All right, next we have City Council reports. Councilmember Buckland.
I think it was yesterday evening. I'm not sure. Everything blends together. Went to the forum for the third congressional district and also the sheriff's candidates. It was well run and very informative. I would suggest to the voting public that they may want to attend the future forums, and I think that there is one scheduled for tomorrow evening, if I'm not mistaken. Thursday night. Like I said, all the days are starting to run together within 45 days of election. So I went to Long Beach for the League of California Cities, attended a number of courses while I was there. One on cannabis and just kind of the where cannabis is moving and meandering through the different cities and some of the different policies that have been put out there. I would point out that apparently our public needs to be a little bit better informed on our cannabis policies because the today's Appeal Democrat front page said that Yuba City's policies are out of compliance or something along those lines. I don't know. I think we have a pretty tight ordinance. Not everybody abides by it, but certainly we have some enforcement teeth out there. Also attended Technologies for Cities. Just some of the new abilities through our technology systems to be able to power up cities and keep citizens informed of ongoing events. A little bit of a Facebook update. If y'all didn't know it, 12-year-olds run this world. It's done on Facebook, and it's employees of Facebook itself that talk really, really fast and show you all kinds of neat tricks. And they put in all new policies for Facebook, especially when it comes to political campaigns. And they do that 3 weeks before, well, no, about 3 weeks ago. They put those policies in place just in time. They couldn't have done it a couple months ago. But the neat thing about Facebook is the utilization of things with live streaming and everything else that can be done, and certainly keeping the public a little bit better informed of what goes on inside a council meeting, or for some folks that can't travel into the meetings. The suggestions from some cities is that they utilize that system to be able to take comment during the public session. So something to ponder and think of in the local scheme of things as we move forward. Also, we have learned in one of the CalPERS sessions that one of our local cities within, I would say, a 40-mile distance of Yuba City is on the verge of bankruptcy. So we are hoping for the best, and they have a sales tax initiative coming up on the ballot to try to preserve that city's status financially. And then Thursday I'll be down at SACOG, and for the just the monthly general session. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Cardoza.
Okay, I've had a fun 2 weeks. I'll start this off with meetings. I attended the Homeless Consortium, the North Sac Valley Regional Water Management Agency, our Cedar Buttes Flood Control Agency, LAFCO, and our Planning Commission. For city and community events, this morning I went to the PD and went to the swearing in of Shonda Stubblefield. She's our new Yuba City dispatcher. We'd like to welcome her to the Yuba City family. This weekend I attended the Food Truck Mania. That was a wonderful turnout here at San Brennan Park. We had 12 to 14 food trucks. Great food, all nationalities, great time. And that was done by our Youth Commission. I'd also like to put a special thanks out to Kelsey Myers. She's our recreation coordinator, and she ran that program this weekend. Attended the Alzheimer's Walk. The Yuba City High School Fall Homecoming Parade. They had a parade down Plymouth Street from the fountain up to the theater. That was a fun turnout. The kids had the bands. It was a wonderful parade on a Friday afternoon on Plymouth Street. I attended the 8th annual REST Luau fundraiser, and REST stands for Regional Emergency Shelter Team. They open up 18 weeks in the wintertime to help feed and take in the homeless in the winter. And this is all a nonprofit organization. This is all run by donations from the community to help them do this. Attended the Pause for a Cause fundraiser, and that was sponsored by the Friends of Sassa. I attended the 3rd annual John L. Sullivan Charity Car Show with Vice Mayor Harris here. We were judges. We had fun judging 120 cars and 10 motorcycles. That was a great afternoon and a fun time. And of course, last week was all rodeo week. So I watched the cattle drive. They went from town center over the bridge back into Marysville. The annual Sodbusters event, and of course the rodeo Saturday. I was there for it. And for chamber events the last couple of weeks, we had the business after hours, and that was also the rodeo kickoff party at Larry Gibke Ford. And I had the honors of presenting a plaque from the city and the council to Cotton Rosser, and he really loved it. And then also the chamber was at the forum with Councilman Buckland last night. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Great. Councilmember Cleveland.
Yes, thank you. For me, it was mainly the League of California Cities annual conference, and at that same week, unfortunately, a couple of my main committees were during the time that I was in Long Beach. I ended up being the voting member at the last of the conference, to where I had to stay to the last minute of the conference because that's where they take the voting and all that stuff. And then saying who's the new president and first, second, first, and whatever. And we had 2 policies. I will be reporting on, I think on the 2nd, I will have a little report set up for the policies that were approved for advocating for or against at state level. I don't know if people really know what the League of California Cities does and their committees. They review all of the legislation that's coming out of Sacramento and different committees and stuff, housing and land use, roads, environmental quality, government, just like I think it's 5 committees. And so they go through them all. And then we find out the ones that are the worst for us, that are going to take away local control, or some of them are just, you can't believe that they're actually putting these bills forward. They're so ridiculous. And then we do, usually there's 60 members on these committees, because there's 482 cities in California, but we have 60 members on each one of these. And we discuss the policies, we discuss the legislation, and then we choose as to how they fit into the needs of the cities in the overall state of California. And then we'll vote to either oppose or support, or even things like oppose unless amended, support if amended. That's the positive side and the negative side of an argument. So it's quite a process, and usually there's 3 meetings during the year that we get together to discuss this. And some of them we have to travel once to Northern California, once to Southern California for these committees. So it's an important conference to be at for us, to have our representation and our voices heard. And we also get some very good information, which I think we're going to be implementing some things from this last meeting over time. So that was quite an interesting 3 days down there. Then I also attended the Food Truck Mania. That was phenomenal. The youth did a fantastic job this year at San Brandon Park. Great location. There are a few little glitches they're going to have to work out for the businesses that are in the area, and a few other little odds and ends, but it was a great event. And then I'm going to give a little report as I will be going to another conference, the LAFCO conference, where I have been nominated to represent the North State of California on the state board of LAFCO. And it looks like they have enough votes to make that happen. They've already been lobbying, so I will be representing Yuba City and Northern California on the LAFCO board, most likely next year, if I'm reelected. But other than that, those are the things that I've done.
Great, thank you. We got Vice Mayor Harris.
Like three of the highlight last 2 weeks, of course, the League of California Cities Conference down in Long Beach. Very interesting event. Met a lot of good people. Attended a lot of interesting meetings. Went to the Valley Division caucus where we had a good lunch. Talked to some nice people that are surrounded on our area, which we are. Yuba City is a part of the Valley Division. Also elected new officers at that time. Leadership reception that evening. The Facebook meeting was. I'm not really a tech guy. It kind of was way over my head. I took a lot of notes. But the things that they can do, I was even unaware of. But like Councilman Buckland was mentioned, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and you have to be really patient. But there are some really good, valuable tools out there to really get some communication out there, not just for running for office, but while you're in office, I believe. Also attended a meeting on homelessness. We are not alone in that challenge here locally. It's all over the place, and if someone can come up with a magic bullet, it would be really nice. We wouldn't be here if we could come up with that one. But it's going to be a problem that's not going to go away. But I think we're making some headway as I look into the future here. Well, my role at Beale Military Liaison Commission, I did attend a reception at Peachtree Country Club. There was a preparation for a fundraiser they were having. Met a lot of good people out there. Beale continues to be such a vibrant part of our community. I think not necessarily as conspicuous as I would kind of like them to be. However, they do a very good job. It's not their fault. It's just that we need to, I think, work on doing even more to embrace them and have them be a part of it. Part of the issue is they have such a transient population with folks moving around a lot. But I tell you, they love Yuba Sutter, they love Yuba City, they love everybody. And there's some really good people, young men, women out there who are literally saving lives and doing some good work for our country. And the big responsibility on their shoulders and working hard. So it's a pleasure to be a part of that. Also on that happened to be the birthday of the Air Force, the 71st birthday of the Air Force. Attended a black tie event commemorating that event down at the casino in, I guess it'd be Roseville, Rockland, Thunder Valley. Never been anything like that. Didn't even know they had that. But I tell you, all the way from the youngest, I don't know what they call them, junior airman, I don't know what the rank is, who had been on since June, and then they had the most senior ranking officer, who happened to be a lieutenant colonel, who was doing over 35 years. They had both of them side by side for a photo op. It was really interesting to do that. But to talk to those folks, again, their attitude and their professionalism and them being friendly and appreciative of what we all do as a city to support them and their presence out there. I had the honor of military. Apparently, there's a tradition where they do 8 different toasts from the flag and the president all the way down to the airmen in harm's way. And I had the honor of representing all of us and doing the toast to civic leaders, which was interesting and a pleasure of mine. And I, too, also attended Food Truck Mania. I can't pass up a good corn dog. And so, in fact, I had 2 of them. But it was wonderful. And as already stated, kudos to Brad, his team, Kelsey, and our youth commission. What a phenomenal job. And I've already made way aware of that. There's folks are asking about the possibility of doing more than once a year. And I would concur with that. It's very... I don't know. It's one of those things, Steve. It's like a small town feel we always strive for, and complete with the drone above head, annoying the hell out of everybody. But other than that, we had a really good time, pleasant afternoon, and so that is it for me.
Great. Thank you. Pretty much the same kind of areas. Went out to the League of California Cities, attended a couple of the sessions there. Cannabis was one of them, homeless. And then there was leadership and civic engagement that I had an interest for just because of the civic engagement programs that I'm initiating here with everyone's help. So wanted to see if there were any other creative, innovative ways to produce some more programs in our areas. And then aside from that, that was pretty much all of last week. And then this week coming back, and we're hitting the candidate forums pretty much every other day, see what's going to happen there. Coming up this weekend, just to let everybody know, on September 22nd is the Celebration of Heroes at Crossroads. So for those of you who can make it, that would be great to see you there. Aside from that, I don't think there's anything else. I think most of everything else was mentioned, so if there's not any questions, we will adjourn tonight's meeting.